can you tell me a bit about yourself? What's your name? What do you do for a living? Where are you from?
So I'm Kate. I'm from Worcestershire, like the sauce. I've got a couple of jobs. So I'm a university lecturer, but I'm also a forensic biologist
Very
and
nice.
a mum of two, which keeps me more busy than the jobs.
Okay. So could you tell us a wee bit about what was happening with you before you started working with me here at Team EMW and your journey to finding us?
Yeah, so I'd got a bit sort of, the sort of lockdown situation where I'd sort of got myself in a bit of a stuck in a rut. With exercise, with food choices, because obviously we were eating in all the time. So we got ourselves in a bit of a rut of what we were eating. I'd put on a few extra pounds and I already had a few extra pounds that I shouldn't have had in the first place. So those all added together meant I was nudging onto the next size of clothes above. And that can sometimes be the, whoa, I don't like my clothes size starting with a 2. So that was the intervention, I think.
That was the catalyst. Yep. Okay. So
Mm.
moving on, 90 days. What have you achieved since joining us? And I was about to say in what time frame, but I just said the time frame. What have you done in the last 90 days?
Yeah, so I joined with the 90 days, and within that, I have lost 24 pounds, which I would not have seen coming. And overall, with my measurements, 23.5 inches across the bust, hips, waist, and arms and legs. So yeah, everything. I'm down 2 to 3 dress sizes. So obviously the sort of tagline is drop 2 dress sizes in 90 days. So I've dropped sort of 2.5, 3, which is nice. So I'm
Wouldn't be like you to
comfortably in a
overachieve at
14
all,
now.
would it, Kate? So comfortably in a 14, that's absolutely wonderful. And you're wearing a 14 just now, plenty of room in it.
The
Absolutely.
spare fabric.
Yes. So, what have you enjoyed the most in your time with us?
Um, I think learning new stuff. So obviously when I signed up, it was signing up for weight loss, which I thought was the main thing. But actually there's been so much other stuff that's been in with it. So, focusing on sleep, focusing on hormones, focusing on mindset, focusing on, past issues and things like that that have made it much more well-rounded. So rather than just the weight, it's encouraged me to learn more about other things as well that have helped me be more of a general package, if that makes sense. So, alongside the weight loss, the better sleep, the better skin, better energy levels, better exercise, better outlook, those sorts of things that I didn't think about going into it.
Amazing. It's really interesting that you've hit on that because a lot of our clients, they're coming to us for weight loss, and when they hear the
Mm.
price, they think, oh, that's more expensive than Joe Wicks or something like that, which absolutely it is. But we do bring the mindset stuff and we make it very holistic. So very
Yeah.
interesting that you've hit on that. So thank you. What has been your biggest breakthrough in terms of mindset and behaviours over your 90 days?
I think recognizing things. So before I would self-sabotage. So I'd get to a certain, you'd have a number in your mind of a weight or a measurement or something like that. And I'd get close and I never really realized that I was self-sabotaging for whatever reason. So I think the first stumbling block was when I hit 13 stone. So that was really early on. I got close to it, but never really hit. It took me a long time to actually get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having, sort of cheeky bit here or there, or a few less steps, or a few, and it was my own doing. So it wasn't because I was forgetting, or it wasn't because I wasn't being proactive. I was actually doing these things. So I think that was a big one, because again, it happened at the 12 and a half. I was like, oh no, we're not doing that again.
So
That
that's
was
a
an
big
easier
pattern
transition.
you've noticed in yourself,
Mm.
isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's something you'll take forward when you come to do it yourself. When you get to that half stone
yeah,
mark, it's not an opportunity to phone in a Domino's and celebrate. It's just a case of this is great, this is brilliant. Maybe I'll have a slice of
yeah,
Domino's to celebrate, but then I'm moving on with my life and keeping going with my goals.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What would you say to anyone thinking of working with us here at Team EMW?
Go for it. absolutely go for it. I mean, I've done other things before. So I've done Slimming World, and it is a chore. It felt like I was on a diet, whereas it feels like I'm conscious of what I'm eating, which is a completely different way of looking at it. So I got bought a cake the other day. Slimming World would have been, oh God, I've got to weigh it. I've got to do this, and I shouldn't have it because it's bad food and those sorts of things. Whereas
Is
this
this
is
in?
like, well, I can have a bit of the cake. I can nudge around some other stuff for the rest of the day. It's still good to go. So it's not about, restricting, because I'm a bugger for that. If I restrict, well, I'll find it somewhere and then I'll have loads of it. So it's a much better way of thinking about things, just being more mindful, more conscious about what you're eating and why.
Brilliant. Well, you've been a pleasure to work with, a pleasure to get to know. And of course, you've overachieved and you look absolutely wonderful for it. So well done and thank you. Thank you very much.